Hello students, today we will discuss Hawkins' poem The Sea and the Skylark in detail. On year and year, two noises too old to end, trench ride the tide that ramps against the shore, with a flood or a fall, low lull off or all roar, frequenting there while moon shall veer and wane. Left hand off land, I hear the lark ascend, his rash fresh rewinded new skin score, and crisp of curl of wild winch whirl and bow and belt music, till none's to spill nor is spent. In this poem, Hopkins compares the sound of the sea and the skylark to that of human civilization. The sound of the bird and ocean are natural and pure. He described them beautifully as crisps of curl of wild winch whirl, and the low lull of or all roar. On the other hand, he describes the sound of the town as sordid and turbid. It is a regular Petrarchan sonnet rhyming ABB AABBA CD 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 with a clearly marked division between octave and sestet, with unusually each section being again divided into half into two quatrains of two decets, as the case may be. In the octave, Hopkins compares two ancient sounds, that of the sea and that of a songbird. The skylark, one of whose favorite haunts is sand dunes. The first quatrain deals with the sea. Hopkins is walking along the shore near the northwest town of Ryle, some 6 or 7 miles from the college. Ryle was then an upcoming tourist resort, an account of its wide beach. The second quatrain centers on the skylark, one of the number of birds Hopkins' attention is drawn to in his poetry. On his left hand lie the sand dunes over which the lark is soaring. The imagery seeks to convert sound into sight, as we are asked to see the bird's song as a musical score, pouring out of its throat, then falling like a fisherman line reeling out. It is not a straight line, as there are kinks in it where the line has been pressed into the reel. Each kink represents a bar line, and the line is being rewound on another reel, which the bird will take when he swoops downwards, so he can begin again. Such a complicated image is often called a conceit. The word rewinded is a play on words, as a fisherman rewinds the reel, but also an instrument is winded or played, as in winding a horn. Walking westwards, he would have the sea on his right hand. He remarks particularly on the contrasting sound of the high and the low tides. Octave is purely descriptive, giving detailed imagery of sea and the skylark, as Hopkins formed as precise an escape of them as he can. It is left to the sestet to make a comment. How these two shine, this shallow and frail town, hovering right out of a sordid turbid time, being pure, we life's pride and care for crown have lost that cheer and charm of earth's past prime. Our make and making break are breaking down to man's last dust, drained fast towards man's first slime. The sestet sees the two things which, according to the Bible, were created by God as shaming the man-made town which lies behind him. The town is a symbol of man's fall from a much better, more innocent prime. There is a heavy irony here as Hopkins picks up the theme of the ugliness of modern life and compares it to the uniqueness and beauty of nature. However, to Hopkins, humanity's so-called progress is towards man's first line. In its superficiality, it is reversing down any so-called chain of evolution. He believes humankind's paradise has been lost and people have fallen away from the way God intended them to be. This poem of Hopkins reminds us that sea and the skylark embody nature and God's moral challenge. Dust and slime represent spiritual degradation. No doubt they were also the visible byproducts of the construction work that changed Ryle from old fishing village to the Victorian watering place. The sestet part point out the negative aspects caused by human civilization. The only resolution between nature and man is the death of the latter once. In the last line of the poem, it started that even the human being is part of life's endless circuit, which consists of birth and death. But the author doesn't see any positive effect due to human existence. He says that there isn't any expected, but rather a further decline with the ongoing development of man. The poet saw a sudden loss of hope concerning the restorative potential of humanity. Hawkins believed that humanity is falling in the sight of God. The sea and the skylark gave an immediate sense of timelessness and the reverence they are due. In contrast with the permanent and powerful sound of the bird in the sea and the transitory and insignificant nature of civilization. Indeed, the sound of nature literally overpowers the sordid town right nearby. The poet further says that God created mankind as the crowning glory of the world, but now man's position has been reduced to a level far below the natural objects. The poet gives references to the creation story of man from Bible. Hawkins alludes to the first fall of mankind in the Garden of Eden. He presents humanity in contrast with nature. Then humanity is frail due to its corruption and oblivion to God. It cannot withstand the time scale of nature. Hawkins loses his faith in humanity, restoration to God, seeing alienation, absolute, and regression to dust and slime is inevitable. Hawkins' religious beliefs in Bible and Christ and fall of mankind is visible throughout the sonnet. So now we have discussed about Hawkins' poem. Thank you.